I haven't talked rap in a while, and usually when I do, is to highlight the subhuman behavior that it usually celebrates and glorifies. But in this particular instance, I wanted to talk about it because I found out about the Versus battle, which is an institution that puts mainly old music stars against each other in music battles. Well, this one features Cash Money and No Limit Records. And it's relevant to me because when I got into rap when I was young, these are the two entities that I primarily listened to. Outside of other rap where I would hear the single on the radio or watch the music video, No Limit Cash Money was the first act where I actually listened to entire albums. And I'll never forget, No Limit in particular, how they had a number of acts and they had you know, the gold covers that stood out among the other covers. And Cash Money, even though they had bigger individual superstars, I would say to me, No Limit, they had just more successful acts, especially on an independent level. But anyway, they're having a versus battle, and I'm just curious why. I mean, when you think about between the two entities, No Limit, a lot of their acts are either dead, in prison, or they have beef with Master P and probably won't be involved. And when it comes to Cash Money, I mean, I found out that Lil Wayne won't even be involved. So what's really the point? And again, with Cash Money, well, none of the sort of centerpieces of Cash Money, they're no longer locked up. BG is free, Young Turk is free, Juvenile and Birdman, Manny Fresh have managed to keep themselves out of prison. But yeah, but when it comes to the No Limit side of it, I mean, Mystical's in prison for rape again, and I don't think he's getting out anytime soon this time. And, Soldier Slim's dead. C Murder still locked up. Seem like might be for life. So, yeah, it really doesn't make sense to have this versus battle is basically what I'm saying. And Chunky Master P isn't much of a performer from, the things I've seen from some of the reunion shows they've had over the years. And, this would be something that would have been interesting, back during their heyday. But now, I mean, I guess it's just another example of, pulling out another bit of nostalgia because, the current day, especially when it comes to rap, is utter trash. But yeah, those were just some of my thoughts when I saw this come across my timeline, my news feed, seeing this No Limit Records versus Cash Money Records situation. And again, my first thought was, well, a number of them are dead or locked up, which, is typical when you're talking about rap. Which goes back to, now my usual conversation when it comes to rap, how it highlights and romanticizes some of the most low-life, degenerate qualities of humanity. Being a criminal. I mean, that's pretty much what rap is. Promoting criminality, literal criminals, and, advocating it as something to be and something that you could potentially make money off of if you want to take your criminal activity or the criminal activity of your associates and make it into music or what they call music and songs. And these drill rappers especially have really been, taking it to another level, which is why so many of them have been murdered over the years. And again, major record labels will still give them money despite knowing that they're affiliated with real death and violence. Which just further highlights the devil that Hollywood in general is.